Okay, in this video what I want to do is I want to look at non-monic, but I want to show you how you can use double grouping to factorise non-monic. So how can you use double grouping to actually factorise non-monic? Okay, so let's start with, I'll just give you an example, 2x minus x minus 3. Okay, that's our example. Okay. Write it on the next page, 2x squared minus x minus 3, and we want to factorise that. Alright, step 1. Step 1, what you do is you times the first times the last, and this is actually your product. Okay, this is like a little bit of magic here. So your product would be 2 times minus 3, which is minus 6. You look at the middle term, and that's a minus 1, so that's your sum. So your sum is minus 1. And see, this flows on by using monic and also using the double grouping method. So it's pretty amazing how it all works out mathematically. So we want two numbers that multiply to give minus 6 but have a sum of minus 1. So you start and you take your 6, and your 6 you'd have 6 and 1, 2 and 3. Now, the only way that you're going to get a minus 6 is if the signs are a plus and a minus. So you could go 2 minus 3, or you could go plus 3 minus 2. 2 minus 3 gives you minus 1. 3 minus 2 gives you 1. So it's going to be plus 2 minus 3. Because if you look at that, you want to get a minus in the middle, so the minus needs to go with the bigger number, which is 3. So now you write that out, so it's going to be plus 2x. See, so I said plus 2 minus 3. So you write plus 2x minus 3x, and then so minus 3. So effectively, all that you've done, you see this minus 1 here? You've broken it up so that you've got 2x minus 3, okay? So you haven't really changed this sum. You've just, instead of writing minus 1, you've written 2 minus 3, which is equal to minus 1. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, once you've got that, you look at what you've got there. This is actually just a double grouping question now. You've set it up so it's double grouping. So if you put it into two pairs, the common factor there is 2 and x. And then 2 times what gives you 2x times what gives you 2x squared. 2 times 1 and x times x. And then 2 times what gives you 2x. 2 times 1. And then if you look at the 3x and 3, you take the minus 3 out. 3 times what gives you 3x, 3x, and 3 times 1 gives you minus 3. And then if you look at this, the x plus 1 is a common factor. So you take the x plus 1 out, and you go x plus 1 times, what are you left with? 2x minus 3. And they are your factors. And I'm hoping that, I think this method will work really well for you because it kind of combines what we've already done. Okay, so let's go again. So can you write this question down? Put a heading non-monic if you haven't already, and stop the video. So you're going to factorise this. 5x squared minus 2x minus 3. Actually, I might make it plus 2x. So write plus 2x minus 3. Okay, step 1. You have to write out what the product is. Now, the product is the first one times the last. So write that in your book as a rule. So you go 5 times minus 3, which is minus 15. Then you've got to do the sum. Now, the sum is just your middle, like it always is. So your sum's your plus 2. Okay, so you've got, let's just write that out. Product's minus 15, the sum's plus 2. So we need to find two numbers that when you multiply to give minus 15 and add to give plus 2, that will be your solution. So, because it's a minus 15, we're going to have to go on with a minus and a plus. So we're really looking at the difference between these two numbers. So let's list the factors of 15. So you've got 15 and 1, and you've got 3 and 5. So to get plus 2, the 3 and 5 is looking pretty good, and I'd be doing plus 5 minus 3 to get plus 2. So let's look at that. So it's plus 5x minus 3x gives you plus 2x. So what you do now, see if you take the 5x squared and you take the minus 3, what we're going to do is we're going to get the plus 2 and we're going to replace it with plus 5x minus 3x. And when you do that, you look at what you've actually done here is you have done a double grouping. Okay? So you look at this, you've got a group there and you have a group there. So you factorise each group separately. So you take the 5 and the x out, so you get x plus 5x times 1 gives you 5x, and this is minus 3. 3 times x is 3x, 3 times 1. Okay? And then if you look at this, what's common in both of these, that would be x plus 1. And what's left is 5x minus 3. Okay? Alright, so the third one. So write this example down in your book. Okay, so it's going to be, it's 3x, actually we'll make it 2. Alright, make it 2x squared minus 7x plus 6. Okay, so here we go. What is the first step again? First step, you do first times last. So you do first times last. That will be your product. 2 times 6, which is 12. Then you go your sum's your middle. So the sum is equal to minus 7. Okay, so product is 12, sum's minus 7. Okay, so you start off with your 12 and you go, alright, 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. 3 and 4, because I'm trying to get minus 7. Now, because the product is a positive, it could be a plus and a plus or a minus and a minus. But because I want to get minus 7, then it's going to be a minus 3x minus 4x. So let's replace the 7x with that. So you've got the 2x squared and this plus 6 stays the same. But in the middle here, you go minus 3x minus 4x. Because it's really minus 3x minus 4x is 7x. So you've actually really got the same thing there. Then you need to factorise each separately. Okay, so if you look at these factors here, what goes into 2x squared and minus 3x squared? Now there's no common number, but there is an x that's common. So take the x out and you're left with 2x minus 3. Minus. Now when you're looking at the second one, what goes into 4x and 6? Because there's a minus there, we have to take the 2 out. 2 times what gives you 4x? 2 times 2x. 2 times minus 3. Because 2 3s are 6, a minus times a minus is a plus. Notice that this plus sign changed to a minus. Okay, if the second bracket is not the same as the first bracket, then you have messed it up somewhere and you've got to check your signs. And usually it's because you have not taken, when you're taking the minus out, you have not changed this sign. So you have to just double check those sort of things and be aware of them. The common factor now is 2x minus 3, x minus 2. Okay? Alright, so I'll just do one more. So this is 4. I think I'm up to 4. That's 3, yeah. So number 4. Okay, so we'll go 2x minus 5x minus 12. Okay, first step, the product. Okay, so the product is 2 times minus 12, which is minus 24. The sum is minus 5, because that's the middle term. Okay, so two things that multiply to give minus 24, but add to give minus 5. So you start off 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. Okay, so when I look at them, this one here, 3 and 8, they have a difference of 5. See, I could go, if I want to go 3x minus 8x, notice because I know that that's a minus in the middle, the minus goes with the middle one, is minus 5x. So if we rewrite this is 2x squared minus 12. This is minus 3x, or plus 3x, sorry, minus 8x. Okay, so now let's just put it into two groups. Common factor here is x. That would be 2x plus 3 minus, now what goes into 8 and 12 is 4. So it's 2x. Now you've taken the minus out. More than likely it'll be the same as that one, plus 3. If it isn't, it's probably because you're doing something wrong. So it's 2x plus 3 x minus 4. Okay, and just a fifth one, copy this example down. 5x squared minus 4x minus 9. Okay, so product, first times last, 5 times minus 9, and that will be minus 45. Sum is minus 4. Okay, so the numbers that will give you minus 4 is 5x minus 9x. So you just got to replace the middle. So replace that with plus 5x minus 9x minus 9. Put them into two groups. So it's 5x, x plus 1 minus 9, x plus 1, because I'm taking the minus out, so the sign changes. Common factor there is x plus 1. So it's x plus 1, 5x minus 9. And I think I'll just finally do one that's number 6. So let's go 2x squared, and I'll go plus 18 minus 13x. Okay, so the product's 2 times 18, which is 36. The sum's the middle, which is minus 13. Two things that multiply to give 36. So 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9. Now 4 and 9, if you did 4x plus 9x, you get 13x, but I want to get minus 13. So if I make them both minus and add in the negative direction, because I have a positive product, so it could be a plus and a plus, or a minus and a minus. So it ends up being a minus and a minus because I want a minus sum. So you've got 2x squared plus 18. Let's put the middle in there, minus 4x minus 9x. Put it into two groups and factorise each separately. So that's 2x, x minus 2, minus 9x, and change the sign, minus 2. 2x minus 9 is, and x minus 2 as your factors. Okay, so I think this method might really work for you because it combines two. Hopefully that makes sense.